Holy fuck, this movie was awesome. Today's movie was What Dreams May Come, and I gotta say, I really, really liked this movie. The only problem was that for about half of the runtime, it was depressing as hell. This movie is about Robin Williams and his wife Annabella Sciorra? I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. But anyway, the two of them have a chance encounter and fall in love at first sight, and eventually they have two children who die in car accidents, and afterwards the wife falls into this very, very depressed state and gets sent to an insane asylum. Robin Williams brings her out of it until he himself dies. And I think that would have to be the first like 45 minutes of the movie, just setting up the backstory for it. And it's really incredibly just depressing. I felt so bad during all the scenes where he has to console his wife and she's having a meltdown or is about to have a meltdown. It felt so deadening. You know, the weight that's dropped onto you. It's a lot to take in. So I will say the first half of this movie is pretty heavy. If you can take it, then you'll really like the second half of the movie. At least I did. And the second half of the movie takes place when Robin Williams goes to heaven. And he discovers that his world in heaven is entirely created by his imagination. But since he's connected to his wife, who is his soulmate, she sort of has a say in what goes on in his world. After a little while in heaven, she commits suicide, and because she was a suicide, she goes to hell. So I think the thick of this movie is Robin Williams going to hell to try and bring his wife back. I gotta say, the second half of this movie is a really good adventure type film. It reminded me a lot of the book Dante's Inferno. The acting is amazing. I mean, Robin Williams, I know he's a comedian, but whenever he plays a serious role, he's always amazing. He has always amazed me in any serious role that he's ever played. And Robin Williams is just amazing at that. Cuba Gooding Jr. just kind of popped out of nowhere as a character, but plays it brilliantly. And the twist at the end really doesn't surprise me at all with the fact that they're choosing different bodies. But you'll get to that if you watch this movie, and I do recommend that you watch this movie. It's too good to pass up. It's a good adventure movie for the second half, and for the first half, it's a really heavy sort of drama. At least I thought. Suicide and deaths of children aren't exactly happy subjects, as far as I know. If you think they are, you better get yourself checked. Robin Williams' Heaven World is made out of paint for like the first 15 minutes that you see it. That's amazing. It's just so colorful and bright and awesome looking. I mean, that would be where I would want to go. Granted, it is a little crazy, but then again, a lot of the heavens were sort of outrageous, and hell is as well. I really, really like this movie, at least the second half of it. I don't really like the drama part, but if you stick through it, you'll enjoy a good adventure movie that's a little mind-boggling because you have to think about, you know, the whole heaven-hell thing and whether there is religion. They don't touch on that. I like that they don't really touch on what religion specifically it is, or God doesn't really play into any of it. They just confirm that there is an afterlife, a heaven and a hell, and that certain things happen depending on your choices in life. That's what I thought of the movie. I thought it was great. Definitely recommended to anybody who wants to watch a good adventure movie, which is basically the second half of the movie. That was the first thing I watched on Netflix. Thank you, Phil, for the 30-day free trial. I gotta say, I loved watching it. You can go watch it on Netflix or go rent it or something. I've never seen this movie before. I haven't even heard of it, but it was great. So, yes. Hoi! Hoi!